It's finally here, folks, after a 6 long-year wait. But was it worth the wait? Let's find out. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and I'm back from the first day first show of Empuran, which is the second installment in the Lucifer trilogy. Directed by Prithviraj Sukumaran and written by Murli Gopi, this film had to shoulder some monumental expectations. And while it might not be a flawless masterpiece, it is one colossal cinematic beast which is strictly made for the theaters. Empuran definitely is a seamless continuation from Lucifer, but it does manage to stand on its own as a standalone film. So if you haven't revisited Lucifer lately, you'll still be able to follow the core narrative, but fans of the original one will definitely appreciate the subtle callbacks and layered references. At the center of it all is, of course, our beloved Lalita Mohanlal, reprising his role as the enigmatic Qureshi Abram, aka Stephen Nedumpally. But a fair warning, this is not a mass film in its typical sense. I mean, yes, it is extremely stylized, but that's just the surface level stuff, right? The style of the film and the presentation of the film. If you're expecting non-stop Lalita swagger, you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, what you get is a sort of political thriller that oscillates between the corridors of power in Kerala and the shadowy underworld nexus controlled by Qureshi Abram. First things first, the movie starts with a bang. The opening act, followed by the opening sequence credits with the Empuran song, gave me actual chills. It sets the tone perfectly by referencing one of the darkest chapters of Indian history. It won't be difficult to guess which incident I'm talking about once you have watched the film. Without giving too much, the opening act hints at the communal fault lines in the society, and it left me wondering if the film would delve into polarizing ideologies and Kerala's secular fabric. But that's a thread that the screenplay does not fully explore, and that definitely is one of my gripes from this film's screenplay. The narrative takes a 5-year leap, and we find that the political dynamics in Kerala have dramatically shifted. Jatin Ramdas, played by Tobino Thomas, is now the Chief Minister of Kerala with ambitions that extend far beyond governance. Tobino definitely brings a measured intensity to his character, capturing both political ambition and his internal conflicts that stems from his changing priorities. The story revolves around 3 key threads: the shifting power landscape in Kerala, the ever-expanding Qureshi Abram nexus, and Prithviraj's character Zaid's subplot. Watching how these disparate arcs converge forms the main crux of the film. Now, first and foremost, I definitely want to congratulate Prithviraj. Directing a film of this scale with such a sprawling ensemble cast is no easy feat. But credit where it's due. Prithviraj manages to keep the screenplay largely coherent despite the sheer number of players involved. Because that was one of my biggest worries while walking into the theaters, that how is Prithviraj going to manage this mammoth? Because there are so many characters, there is just so many players involved. How is he going to make a coherent storyline? How is he going to ensure that the screenplay does not feel absolutely disjointed? In that aspect, he has come out with flying colors, in my opinion. Keeping aside directing, when it comes to screenplay, it is engaging, but it's not as nuanced as Lucifer. And yes, whether the makers like it or not, we are going to compare it with Lucifer. For instance, the villain Balraj, played by Abhimanyu Singh, had the potential to be a formidable adversary, but ends up feeling underdeveloped. His motivations remain extremely surface level. I do not know his backstory. I do not know where he has come from. I know nothing about this guy. That is why he feels nowhere as menacing as Bobby. You know, remember Vivek Oberoi from Lucifer? Yes, even if you compare Bobby versus Stephen as characters, Stephen was still extremely powerful, but you could still understand Bobby's ambition. Bobby was extremely cunning, and I really wanted his ass kicked in the film. When it comes to the political commentary of the film, it explores a lot. I'm not saying it's bad, but there are some key things that it leaves out. Because when you see the entire opening act of the film, and when you see a narrative which is going on about Kerala's secular fabric, I personally thought that it'll explore these political narratives of communal divide, polarizing ideologies, the left and right debate, and honestly, it would have been a very bold step, but it merely touches onto that and never really explores that narrative, considering how well you set up that opening act. When we explore Zaid Masood's subplot, we see that he gets exposed to fringe elements when he is a teenager, and there was a huge potential of him getting radicalized, but it did not happen to him, and that was such an important piece of the storyline. I feel it was extremely rushed on how his thinking got developed and how he was never radicalized, even if he was exposed to it. Then when it comes to Jatin Ramdas, what was his trigger point that he completely changed his ambitions? Why did he become like this? Also, we do not explore much on the brother-sister dynamics. So yes, you definitely get an engaging screenplay, but something that the first part nailed correctly was having a commercial entertainer along with the character dynamics. I think the first part got the character dynamics and the interactions and the motivations really, really well. Here, that aspect was lacking as per me. Okay, now let's talk about the action. It's not like this movie is devoid of action scenes. There are two standout action set pieces, one in the climax and another one in the forest setting, which I think where the movie peaks completely. Something about Mohanlal kicking ass in a mundu has my heart. From a technical standpoint, Empuran scores very, very high. The cinematography captures the grandeur of its globe-trotting narrative. The sound design is crisp, though the background score occasionally veers into the overtly loud territory. I don't understand why all these pan-India commercial entertainers fall prey to this particular thing. Loud BGM do not necessarily elevate this scene. Now I feel that it's the more subdued BGM that creates that raw intensity. That could be just me, but it's my opinion. And since we know that there is barely any use of green screen and it's all shot in real locations, you can feel the scale, the influence that Qureshi Abram has all over the world, which is still a mystery. We still do not know who Qureshi Abram is. I mean, we will know who he is in the third installment of Lucifer because that is very much hinted in the movie. But yes, that did disappoint me a little that we still don't know who he is. He's still a mystery. Now, when it comes to our beloved Lalita, one noticeable shift in Mohanlal's performance is the stoicism. Stephen's raw emotionality from Lucifer is largely absent here, which makes complete sense to me from a narrative perspective because he has distanced himself from the politics of Kerala. He has fully embraced his identity as Qureshi Abram because he is basically the leader of such a big nexus. He ain't going to emote his raw emotions by being Qureshi Abram. That does not make sense. But fans who loved Stephen's raw vulnerability, they will miss that side of him for sure. Like, I was missing it. Because in Lucifer, you could see that switch in personality. Like, there were moments of raw vulnerability, which definitely is missing here. Manju Varir, I think, also did a fabulous job in the film as Priya Ramdas. She had really good dialogues, and whenever she was on screen, she was completely shining, and it made me realize more that I would have loved to see that sibling dynamic even more. And Suraj, oh god, I feel so bad because as per me, he was underutilized in the film. He was completely underutilized. Believe me, during his scenes, he owned the screen. He owned the screen. He was, I mean, invariably he became the comic relief of the film, and he's so good at that. I personally feel with an actor of his caliber, this was a missed opportunity. And when it comes to surprises, there's a certain cameo in the finale which kind of left me gasping. It actually sets up in a way of what could be the most epic showdown in this film's concluding chapter. Qureshi might have finally met his match. That's all I'm going to say. Now, this film definitely is extremely ambitious. When it comes to scale, grandeur, production style, and all other technical brilliance, this film delivers. Like, it's an 11 on 10. So for that, I definitely would congratulate Prithvi Raj because he has pulled it off quite well. But when it comes to certain aspects of the screenplay, definitely the first one stands out more. And a lot of people might argue or call this as a pan-India curse. That whenever a director or a filmmaker wants to project a film as pan-India, it becomes inevitable that the screenplay will suffer. Which is why pan-India films get a very, very bad reputation. People don't take them seriously. But I would counter-argue that Lucifer partially suffers from it, not fully. It is not a film that is devoid of any substance. Yes, it has its flaws. A more nuanced antagonist and a deeper exploration of the political undercurrents would have elevated this film even more. In the end, it definitely does only become a revenge saga. So yes, I'm sure there is going to be a mismatch of expectation versus reality. But in no way, this is a film that I would categorize in the pan-India curse. It is a well-directed theatre watch that is definitely going to give a couple of really good elevation moments with Mohanlal sir. Yes, it might not generate too much of hooting and cheering because you do not have that kind of moments a lot in the film. But when I walked out of the theatre, the first thought in my mind was that I had a good time. And that brings me to the end of this review of Empuran. Please let me know what are your thoughts. Did it meet your expectation? Did you love the film? Did you find it average? Was it disappointing for you? What kind of expectations you had from the screen? I would really, really love to know your thoughts in the comments, because there is definitely a lot to discuss, I feel. And with that, I will end this video here. Hope you guys have come till the very end. Please let me know in the comments if you have. And I'm gonna sign off now, and I'll see you soon on my next video. Bye.